wonderful student of the science of mind. She is learning to become a practitioner here before too long. She'll be about ready to start her actual training in a couple more classes, which is great. And she is just a phenomenal speaker. I know you're going to love her. And her topic today is Just Be Love.
All right.
So please give her a warm welcome. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I gotta get my stuff together. Hi. I honor each and every one of you. Ernest Holmes says that love is the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is the synonym for God. And in the New Testament, it says, "He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love." Love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. I've written so many things to talk about this morning. I've gone back and forth in a lot of different areas. Since I have been studying science of mind, I have really found connection to Source. I've really found a relationship with God. And divine love is what I want to talk about this morning. But I don't think I can get to that point without talking about our love for each other. And also I wanted to come up here and I wanted to share with you stories that aren't related necessarily to me. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. So you're just going to have to listen to me tell you what's happened. I think I've always been seeking this love. But I consciously asked for it this year. And when we ask God for something, and we mean it, we get it. So understanding this love, understanding this divine love, coming to this inner relationship. God is love. And I love the God particle, right? I mean, if we take a cup of the ocean, we have the ocean in this cup, but we don't have the power of the ocean in this cup. Well, that's us. We're that cup. We're that little cup of God, but we have to link into God to have that power through us. Excuse me. And so when I consciously asked for this, I'm going to share with you, this is from Emmett Fox, and this is the yoga of love. Unless we build up within our own souls a real and practical love consciousness, our other activities will be more or less futile. If we have the impersonal love consciousness sufficiently well developed toward all, everything else will follow. It is really easy to love the lovable. It is really easy to love the people who think like me and who have the same interests as me. It is through divine love that I can love people that are not of the same thought or of the same action. That doesn't come from me. My ego is bigger than that. Of my own, I am judgmental. I am. And I will look and I will compare. I have to get centered. I have to get centered in God and in that Christ consciousness and what does that look like? What does that mean? It means that I center in God and I understand that God loves every one of us equally because that's what God is. And you are as divine as the next, as the next, as the next. We all have the golden threads that connect us, that tapestry of life. And so it says down here, the pathway of love is open to everyone in all circumstances. Love can be really scary. The thought of loving, and what if it's not returned? You know, and that's keeping love at a human plane. The love from God is always returned. It is what it is, and it can't be anything else. But when I am wanting love from another human being, I start having fear. What are they going to think of me? What if they don't love me back? He says here, you must build up by faithful daily exercise the true love consciousness. And then all the rest of spiritual development will follow upon that. We have to get centered. We have to, I can't wake up in the morning and run out the door and say, okay, God, work through me today, I gotta go. It takes a minute. It takes a minute to get calm and get settled and get into that space. But when I do, and when you do, love will heal you. Love will comfort you. Love will guide you. This is my favorite. Love will illumine you. Love will redeem you from sin, sickness, and death and lead you into the promised land, the place that is altogether lovely. And that doesn't happen in the next dimension. It happens here. The promised land is here. It is in that consciousness. It is in that connection. Then we exist in that right here with our fellow human beings. This next part this is some stuff right here. You may say to yourself, definitely, and I have said this, and it has altered me. And I haven't just said it once, I say this. My mind is made up. I have measured the undertaking. I have counted the cost, and I am resolved to attain the goal by the yoga of love. I can do this. And I will. Others may pursue knowledge to the farthest reaches of its wondrous growth. Others again may organize great and marvelous enterprises for the benefit and uplifting of humanity. And still others may teach and heal and explore, or if they feel the call, may scale the austere heights of asceticism. But I have chosen the yoga of love. Henceforth, my field of work is right here in my own consciousness. And all my efforts and energies shall be directed to the cleansing and purifying of that form, of that from all that is not love. Moment by moment, day by day, and week by week, I shall root out from my own heart every atom of condemnation of my brother man, no matter who or where he may be or what he may have done. Every atom of resentment for any unkindness or injustice that has ever been shown to me or to one that I love. Every particle of jealousy of others, however cleverly it may be disguising itself. Every smallest thought or feeling, in short, which is not an expression of divine love. My own heart is to be my workshop, my laboratory, my great enterprise and contribution to humanity. What an order. So since I've asked for that, it's been quite a year. Really has. It's been quite a year. So since I asked for that, I went to this conference, and there were over 10,000 people at this conference. And it was a conference based on spiritual principles. The greatest of these being love and tolerance. 10,000 people. Not all in the same place, not all in the same spiritual and religious beliefs, but all there under the principles of love and tolerance. It was so powerful. And on the last day, I went to honor those before us at the cemetery. And we got there in the morning, and the serendipity, the people that go before us, the people that have led the way and marked these paths and written their words so that we can learn from them is beautiful. And at the cemetery, there was about 3,000 of us. And at the end, there were bagpipes that played. And we sang Amazing Grace. 3,000 people holding hands, singing Amazing Grace, sobbing. And then we ended with the Lord's Prayer. And as soon as we said amen, the skies opened and it started raining. And when that rain came down, I just laid my face back and I closed my eyes and I opened my arms and I let that rain. It was like a natural baptism, 3,000 of us. And I just cried and cried and cried. It was the most powerful. I said it last time I spoke, but you know, it's Gabby Bernstein talked about it when we crack an egg. When we crack an egg, we break it. But when an egg hatches, it cracks from the inside. That's that light coming out. That's birth. That's renewing. That's what this year has been. I keep cracking. So I experienced this incredible love, and it didn't stop there. It went on, and when it was done, when I got home, I cried for 3 hours. I mean, sobbed. It was the most powerful energy I have ever felt to this day. And I exclaimed in the midst of my sobbing that I just experienced divine love on a physical plane. And it's all I've ever wanted. And around that same time, a couple other things happened. I had a friend that gave birth to a little baby and he was sick. And she asked me to be his godmother. He was born 1 pound. This little tiny life. And in going to the hospital and being there with this tiny child, it's just love. He is whole, perfect, and complete. He is physically not. But he is, his soul, his being is whole, perfect, and complete. And in seeing this little life, I started understanding the will of creation to exist. That desire to live. That our bodies, no matter how functioning or non-functioning, want to be here. To carry these souls that are connected to the divine. For however long or however short. What a gift of life. And also at this time I met a man. I actually had known him for a while, but we started going out. And I was scared to death. This is that fear. What if he doesn't love me back? What if this doesn't work? What if? You know, I don't want him to, I don't want him to see me without makeup. I don't want to, whatever it is, all the earthly ego, the fears start creeping in. And we took chances, and we were vulnerable, and we had a lot of uncomfortable moments, and it was beautiful, and I felt quick. I think I loved him before we ever went out. But he didn't want to continue that relationship. And my ego was hit, and there was physical, that insecurities and the pain of that, but here again, I had to center into the divine, and I know I'm okay. And I know him not wanting to be with me does not diminish my worth, does not diminish who I am. And you know what else? I cried a lot harder when I left that conference full of love than I did at him not wanting to be with me. Because love in its purest form, and this divine love, is way more powerful than my ego and my self-esteem. There's way more peace in that than there is from another human being. When I left this morning, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about because I've been crying a lot. And I thought, I don't want to stand up here and cry. I want to leave this in some uplifting, beautiful thing. But you know what? There's beauty in it. There's beauty even in the crying, and I am. That little baby was 3 months old 2 days ago. And on Tuesday, they're taking him off life support. Holding this little life has altered me. This pure love this innocent, pure, and his mom asked me if I would say some prayers. He was never dedicated. We're getting the birth certificate and death certificate at the same time. And I sat down, I was up there the other day, and they had a professional photographer, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't stop crying and even take professional pictures. There's beauty in capturing the tears. And that's all a part of it too. It's okay to love like this. And I guess that's where I'm at today is I want to experience every part of this life. I'm not afraid of this little boy's dying. I think when she asked me to pray over him and do this dedication, I was like, how do I bless something that is such a blessing? He is the blessing. He doesn't need one. In his 3 months, he has touched my heart and my soul. And he has taught me more about love. Because divine love is loving just for the sake of love. That's it. There's no words to get through. There's no religions to bypass. There's no, you're a part of this and I am too, so we can get along. It's just one life connecting in love to another life. And the importance of that, the importance of connecting with another human being, because when he's, in the beginning I got to do skin to skin and he would lay right on my chest and our hearts would touch and his heartbeat would regulate and he would start breathing on his own more than, he didn't need the ventilator as much. That's not me, that's the divine through. And to experience that, to be a part of that, not just once, but again and again, is incredible. And last night's the first time I held him since I knew he was going to be transcending in a few days. And at first it felt a little more selfish. But I held him for quite a few hours, and as we sat there in that chair, and now I'm holding him like this, and I can look down at that little face, all I can do is thank him and thank God for this opportunity and this love. In the midst of this, I have a partner that I've chosen. We have chosen this relationship. And we've chosen to explore spiritual principles together. The greatest of these, which is love. Which is where all of them stem from. And we have learned so much. And we pray together, and we create together, and sometimes our egos battle. Sometimes.
All right.
It's going to happen, Janet.
Oh, I know.
But we collaborate with God.
Amen.
God is our partner.
That's right.
And as long as we have that, everything keeps coming around. We keep walking these labyrinths and coming back to the beginning, but we're coming back with clarity.
All right.
And we're coming back with a little more hope. And we've been diligent because that's what Solomon taught us.
Lift them up.
I live with my family. I've been there a little over a year now. In love, we have to forgive. We have to accept. We have to help each other. We have to be kind. Who's the hardest ones to apply this with? The people closest to us. It is so easy for me to ask God for divine love and not judge the stranger on the street. But can I do it with the people I'm most familiar with? That's where that connection comes in. That's where I have to have that divine connection. And like Diana said, I'm in classes to be a practitioner. And we did a mystical marriage where I vowed to honor and cherish the divinity in myself. The first one was, do you vow to give your heart and soul to your beloved, your divine self, loving this presence with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength? The act of doing the ritual was beautiful. We were anointed. And mine was love. That's what I asked. I know that's what I'm here for. And whatever form that's going to take, I don't know all the details, but I know that's what I'm here for. But you know, when I woke up the next morning, and this is the ring that I used, this was my grandmother's ring. Now it has an even greater purpose besides just shining and looking beautiful on my finger.
Right.
I woke up changed. I woke up the next morning, and I took these vows very, very seriously. I took the vow seriously. My relationship with God is very personal. And I want to share it with others. But I can't push or pull you to get to this place. Not everybody wants this. It is sometimes lonely. It is sometimes devastating. And even in its joy, if you're not there with me, I might look a little crazy. Even in the joy. Because it makes people uncomfortable. But I'm choosing it anyways.
All right.
And in our last class, we read from Rumi. And this is one of his poems. Because we talk about it. We talk about, what about the people who don't want this? What about the people who aren't, you know, I was a little creeped out by the whole God thing, especially if you brought up Christ for a long time. But I am so aware of the Christ consciousness. I am so aware of my light today. I'm not afraid anymore. And that fearless bliss, that fearless living, that was my word this year. So will you ask, and you will be given. And so it doesn't mean I'm not afraid. I've been scared to death quite a lot in these last 8 months. But part of fearless living means that I'm not walking it alone. I'm jumping off a lot of cliffs. But God's right there with my wings. Or a branch if I need to dangle for a second. But this is what Rumi said. Those who don't feel this love pulling them like a river, those who don't drink dawn like a cup of spring, or take in sunset like supper, those who don't want to change, let them sleep. This love is beyond the study of theology, that old trickery and hypocrisy. If you want to improve your mind that way, sleep on. I've given up on my brain. I've torn the cloth to shreds and thrown it away. If you're not completely naked, wrap your beautiful robe of words around and sleep. There's a vulnerability in this love. But the act of being vulnerable diminishes the vulnerability. It's the fear of it that keeps me stuck. The moment that I say, if this is your will, if I am in right action, if this is for the greater good, then let it be. And then I take that step.
Right.
Sometimes shaking, knees knocking, sweat on my brow. But underneath that I wrote, I am willing to live naked, raw, open. I want to experience life, love, and light. I am illumined, and I am grateful. And I'll choose it, and I have to choose it every day. And some days are a little easier than others. I gotta go back to my notes. Okay, I'm just going to end with this one. This is more Rumi. All religions, all this singing, one song. The differences are just illusion and vanity. The sun's light looks a little different on this wall than it does on that wall, and a lot different on this other one, but it is still one light. We have borrowed these clothes, these time and space personalities from a light. And when we praise, we're pouring them back in. So in this life, this time, this one, I choose to praise, I choose to be that light, I choose to live in love. And whatever form that takes and whatever emotions come with it, there's beauty in it. There's beauty in this short life and death. There's beauty in the relationships that last and that don't. There's beauty in the vulnerability. There's beauty in the forgiveness. And there's power in that love. And that's what I want today. That's what I grab hold of today. And that's what I share with you today. I hope you walk away with it. And I think I am kind of ending on a high note. I mean, love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweet is irresistible. And I can't resist it. Let's sing. Okay, thank you.